I have some of the message on the chat box. Thank you, everyone. So we are reading the Krishna books, second part. We will be begin the new chapter today. Chapter number 3, 5 queens married by Krishna. There was a great rumor that the 5 Pandavas brothers, along with their mother Kunti, had, under the plan of Dhritarashtra, died in a fire accident in the house of Salam, in which they were living. But then the 5 brothers were detected at the marriage ceremony of Draupadi. So again, another rumor spread that the Pandavas and their mother were not dead. It was a rumor, but actually it was so. They returned to their capital city, Hastinapur, and people saw them face to face. And when this news was carried to Krishna and Balram, Krishna wanted to see them personally. And therefore Krishna decided to go to Hastinapur. This time Krishna visited Hastinapur in a state as a royal prince, accompanied by his commander-in-chief, Yuyudhan, and by many other soldiers. He had not actually been invited to visit the city, yet he went to see the Pandavas out of his affection for his great devotees. We can see the kindness of Krishna. He visited the Pandavas without warning, and all of them got up from their respective seats as soon as they saw him. Krishna is called Mukunda because as soon as one comes in constant touch with Krishna or see him in full Krishna consciousness, one immediately becomes freed from all material anxieties. As I was mentioning today, that if we are chanting in the Nama Aparadh stage, then and then we have to suffer in this material world. If you come even to the Nama Aparadh stage, there should be no material suffering. Not only that, but he immediately becomes blessed with all spiritual bliss. On receiving Krishna, the Pandavas become very enlivened. Remember, I quoted you how to associate with the devotees. Is anybody would like to say? When you see your superior, what should we do? One thing that we should do and one thing we shouldn't do. When we meet with the superior, we should become joyful and we should never become envious. When you meet with the equal level of devotees, then what? We should create a friendship and we should never compete with each other. And when we see the juniors, then we should become compassionate and then no contempt. These are the principles that we need to observe by dealing with the Vaishnavas. Wonderful instruction has been given. So on receiving Krishna, the Pandavas became very enlivened. That's the thing. When you see those superior person, we should become joyful. Just as if awakened from unconsciousness or from loss of life. You know, I remember in my childhood, the horse kicked me right on my chest and I become unconscious. And I become conscious. I just remember that my mother and everybody was throwing the water on me. And I became happy that at least I can see them again. When a man is lying unconscious, his senses and the different part of his body are not active. But when he regains his consciousness, the senses immediately become active. And who can make our senses joyful? Krishna. Similarly, that's why his name is Govinda, another. Similarly, the Pandavas receive Krishna as if they had just regained their consciousness. How happy we should be when we chant the holy name. We should feel the presence of Krishna. He's there when we chant the holy name. He's in our heart. So, similarly, the Pandavas receive Krishna as if they had just regained their consciousness, and so they become very much enlivened. Lord Krishna embraced every one of them. This is the way of showing the love and affection by the senior to the juniors. And by the touch of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Pandavas immediately become freed from all reaction of material contamination. So always we should get the hug from the self-realized person, because then we will become free from this contamination. And therefore, they were smiling in spiritual bliss. And by seeing the face of Lord Krishna, everyone was transcendently satisfied. Hari Bol. So if we are chanting attentive rounds, what is the anxiety in our life? Lord Krishna, although the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was playing the part of an ordinary human being, and thus he immediately touched the feet of Yudhishthira and Bhim, because they were his two older cousins. Krishna never forget to follow the etiquettes. That's the greatness of the Krishna and his exalted devotees. They are so meek and humble. It says that the tree has a lot of fruits, they always bend. But the tree doesn't have the fruit, they goes higher and higher. So if we cannot bow down, or if we cannot become humble, we know how ignorant we are. So Arjuna embraced Krishna as a friend of the same age, whereas the two younger brothers, namely Nakul and Sahadev, touched the lotus feet of Krishna to show him respect. That's also the etiquette. After an exchange of greetings according to the social etiquette, befitting the positions of the Pandavas and Lord Krishna, Krishna was offered an exalted seat. And when he was comfortably seated, the newly married Draupadi, young and very beautiful in her natural feminine gracefulness, came before Lord Krishna to offer her respectful greetings. The Yadavas who accompanied Krishna to Hastinapur were also very respectfully received. Specifically, Satyaki or Yuyudhan was also offered a nice seat. In this way, when everyone else was properly seated, the five brothers took their seats nearby Lord Krishna. First, they offered the seat to everyone else. After meeting with the five brothers, Lord Krishna personally went to visit Srimati Kunti Devi, the mother of the Pandavas, who was also paternal aunt of Krishna. In offering his respect to his aunt, Krishna also touched her feet. Kunti Devi's eyes become wet, and in great love, she feelingly embraced Lord Sri Krishna. Hari Bol. She then inquired from him about the well-being of her paternal family members, her brother, particularly Vasudeva, his wife, and other members of the family. How nice that atmosphere would be, right? Loving exchanges. She knew immediately after meeting him that he was the Supreme Personality of Godhead. She remembered the past calamities of her life and how, by the grace of Krishna, the Pandavas and their mother had been saved. It says when Krishna wants to take you away, nobody will be able to save you. And if Krishna wants to save you, nobody can harm you at all. So, she knew perfectly well that no one without Krishna's grace could have saved them from the fire accidents designed by Dhritarashtra and his sons. You know, when we save from some trouble, our tendency is we get the credit. See, I solved that problem. I solved the problem. I and mine. Unless and until it says that unless you become completely free from the influence of the external energy, I and mine will never leave you. So if we have those kind of a thought, we know for sure that we have been bound by the external energy. Don't be proud. This should be the thing that if anything happen good in our life, we should always give credit to our Guru and Krishna. And if we do any mistake and nonsense, we should hold ourselves responsible. In a choked up voice, she began to narrate before Krishna the past history of their life. Haribol. So Kunti Devi is saying, my dear Krishna, I remember the day when you sent my brother Akrura to gather information about us. They never forget anything. Krishna does little things, they will remember life after life. And Krishna has done so many things for us and we have no appreciation. This means that you always remember us automatically. Look at that vision and thought. When you sent Akrura, I could understand that there was no possibility of our being put into danger. How much faith do they have? Yes, Kadambakanand Swami says that you are hanging on the edge of your roof and Krishna said, don't worry, you release your hand. And we will say, Krishna, show me that you are touching us, then and then we will release. Looking at these exchanges should increase our faith in Krishna. All good fortune in our life began when you sent Akrura to us. Since then, I have been convinced that we are not without protection. These are the 6 principles of surrender. That Krishna is my maintainer, He is my savior, He is my protector. Surrender, Atma Nivedan, humility. These are the 6 processes Bhaktivinoda Thakur has explained very nicely. We may be put into various types of dangerous conditions, not just little here and there, dangerous condition by our family member, the Kurus. But what Kunti Devi says that I'm confident that you remember us and that you always keep us safe and sound. Haribol. Devotees who simply think of you are always immune from all kind of material dangers. Haribol. And what to speak of ourselves, who are personally remembered by you. So that's the thing, if we have that all this suffering, we know for sure that we have no attractions for Krishna. And chanting in the Namaparada stage, offending the holy name. So my dear Krishna, Kunti Devi continued, there is no question of bad luck. We are always in an auspicious position because of your grace. They are the one who suffer the most. But look at that, how they are explaining their past. But because you have bestowed a special favor on us, people should not mistakenly think that you are partial to some and inattentive to others. You make no such distinction. No one is your favorite and no one is your enemy. As the Supreme Personality Godhead, you are equal to everyone, and everyone can take advantage of your special protections. The fact is that although you are equal to everyone, this is the most important thing, that you are especially inclined to the devotees who always think of you. Haribol. And our Acharya says that stage will come only you become attached to chant the holy name constantly. The devotees are related to you by ties of love. As such, they cannot forget you even for a moment. You are present in everyone's heart. But because the devotees always remember you, you also respond accordingly. Haribol. Yesterday, Ramabat Swami Maharaj was sharing something that normally the exalted personality never revealed. But Maharaj was just trying to make a point that when you become purified, all this personality will appear to you, either in the dream or in person, and they will give you instructions. And Maharaj said, I will have to read because when I was walking, the train come and they were honking, so I forgot who appeared in the dream of Ramapat Swami Maharaj. And Maharaj revealed to all this that he said that I don't want to, but I feel that that is the stage we need to hanker. He was just giving. One of the Goswami appeared and instructed Ramapat Swami Maharaj that you should write on this subject matter. So Maharaj is writing now, Haribol. We will see. I will have to listen that class one more time. No one is your favorite, no one is your enemy. As a Supreme Person, you are equal to everyone. Everyone can take advantage of your special protection. The fact is that although you are equal to everyone, you are especially inclined to the devotees who always think of you. The devotees are related to you by ties of love. As such, they cannot forget you even for a moment. You are present in everyone's heart, but because the devotee always remember you, you also respond accordingly. So if you have not yet have any spiritual exchange experience in your life, you know that we are far away. Although the mother has affection for all the children, she takes special care of the one who is fully dependent. This is the principle. To get the protection, you have to become dependent. How much dependent are we? I don't think that we become dependent. We always make sure that I have to have this, I'm going to do this. We have no faith in Krishna. There is no dependency. And then how Krishna can intervene in our life when you don't give him a chance? You try to manage everything yourself. Then Krishna says, okay, he will never intervene in your life. So, I know certainly, my dear Krishna, that being seated in everyone's heart, you always create auspicious situation for your unalloyed devotees. Haribol. So then, this Pandava is great. You know, they don't want to stop. When Kunti Devi stopped, then Yudhishthira Maharaj came on the platform. And he started praising Krishna as the Supreme Personality and universal friend of everyone. Yudhishthira Maharaj continued. But because Krishna was taking special care of the Pandavas, King Yudhishthira said, my dear Krishna, We do not know what sort of pious activity we have executed in our past lives that you have made you so kind and graceful to us. We know very well that the great mystics who are always engaged in meditations to capture, you do not find it easy to obtain such grace, nor can they draw any personal attentions from you. I cannot understand why you are so kind upon us. We are not yogis, but on the contrary, we are attached to material contaminations. We are householders dealing in politics, worldly affairs. I do not know why you are so kind upon us. What a magnanimity. Haribo. Yeah, I was also, Maharaj was making a wonderful point. Then I forgot, I will have to listen again, but the point was that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wrote, Rupa Goswami wrote this Nectar of Devotion. And then Venkata Bhatt, who was a very scholarly person. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, before he, Rupa Goswami, before he produces a book, he requested Venkata Bhatt, can you just see that everything is all right because you are so scholarly person, you are a well-learned person. Look at the humility of Rupa Goswami. So then Venkata Bhatt, he studied everything. And then he said that I have one thing found which I feel is not really appropriate. So I think what happened was that when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu after the lunch was taking rest, Venkata Bhatt wants to go and take bath in Ganga. And I think Jiva Goswami was the one who walked with Venkata Bhatt. And before the Venkata Bhatt can tell that something that is not right, he revealed his mind and heart to Jiva Goswami. And he said, Rupa Goswami, sorry, I'm missing that. Rupa Goswami has asked me to read this book and he wants me to make some comment. There is something, everything is all right, but I see one thing is little bother me. So then Jiva Goswami says, what is that? You know that there is a wonderful verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita also, Bhukti Mukti Siddhi Karmi Sakali Asant. So in that Rupa Goswami says that Bhukti and Mukti, who is searching for, they are like a witch. And the Venkata Bhatt felt that person who is aspiring for the, or who become liberated, why Rupa Goswami is calling them witch? So he posed that question to Jiva Goswami. And this is so nice, when we go into the detail, how this personality pursue their writings. How can we understand this scripture without the help of a self-realized person? We can read so many things, but it won't sink into our mind and heart as it intended for us. This is the classical example. So then Jiva Goswami explained that Rupa Goswami is not telling siddhis and the muktis as a witch. What he's trying to say is the desire to get bhukti and mukti, that's witch. Not that you become liberated. He's saying that, oh, you are a witch. So then Venkata Bhatt, after hearing this explanation, he bowed down to Jiva Goswami and he really touched his feet and said that, these things, only through the surrender process, we will be able to grasp those certain fine points. Otherwise, we may mislead, by reading the scripture even. So let's go back to Krishna book. So Krishna, although the Supreme Personality God, was playing the part of an ordinary human being, and thus he immediately touched the feet of Yudhishthira and Bhima, because they were his two older cousins. Arjuna embraced Krishna as a friend of the same age, whereas the two younger brothers, namely Nakul and Sahadev, touched the lotus feet of Krishna to show him respect. After an exchange of greeting according to the social etiquette befitting the position of Pandava and Lord Krishna. Oh, this we finished that. Okay. Yeah, Yudhishthira is saying we are not yogis, but on contrary, we are attached to material contaminations. We are householder dealing in politics, worldly affairs. I do not know why you are so kind upon us. What a humility they are exhibiting. Being requested by King Yudhishthira, Krishna agreed to stay in Hastinapur for 4 months during the rainy season. And the 4 months of the rainy season are called Chaturmasya. During this period, the generally itinerant preachers and brahmanas stop at a certain place and live under rigid regulative principles. You know, I was hearing the class of another Sachinanand Swami Maharaj also yesterday, and he was sharing that how Krishna protect his devotees. So Maharaj says, one time he was in Vrindavan or some forest, I don't know, maybe in the dry leaves in the forest. If the snake or something is moving, you can hear this noise moving the leaves. So Sachinanand Swami Maharaj was in a deep meditation, but he heard that something is, nobody is in the forest. He find a very secluded place. So what is there? So when he opened the eyes, Maharaj was telling that the cobra, and he was just be ready to bite me. And Maharaj says, because I was so much absorbed in chanting the holy name, I didn't have any fear or something. I just looked at the cobra. And as cobra was approaching me, 2 parrots from that, like an airplane, Maharaj was saying, that airplane dive into the snake, captured the snake, and Maharaj was saved. So Maharaj was saying that we need to have some experience where we can convince that this is only Krishna can do. Unless and until we have those kind of experience in our life, we will never give up our pride and we will never surrender. But we see that how Krishna protect his devotees. Maharaj is very kind to share those things. Okay. Taking this opportunity for 4 months, staying of Krishna's residence in Hastinapur, all the citizens of the town got the privilege of seeing him now and then. And thus they merge into transcendental bliss simply by seeing the Lord Krishna eye to eye. When we look at the deities, do we feel some connection? See for your acts for yourself. It's non-different than Krishna. But we need to have the vision to see as Krishna, not as a deity. I don't I'm going to, because there is some other pastimes that I have heard from different Maharaj about the deity, but that will sway it away from us. It's already 6:56. Thank you that Krishna give me intelligence to look at the computer on my watch. We should be punctual in our practices. We should stop with this wonderful narration. Looking forward to hear more exchanges, loving exchanges with Krishna and his devotees. So with those thoughts, it's already 1 minute late. Please forgive me. With those thoughts, always remain happy, jubilant, and totally fearless. And whoever you come across, give them a kind word that their life can also become successful, peaceful, anxiety-free. We should swim in an ocean of peacefulness. Our life should have no hiccups because we are protected by Krishna. So with those thoughts, I would like to offer my humble obeisances at the dusk of these wonderful devotees who take so much austerity. I have no word of appreciating. Every night I go to the sleep, I remember these great devotees. And you know, if you will challenge me one day, I can bet you I can write down everybody's name who is joining regularly. I will never miss anyone by Krishna's grace, not by with my own intelligence. So those devotees who I would like to offer my humble obeisances at their lotus feet, who joined from Houston, Fresno, Connecticut, as Advaita Chandra Prabhu has already joined, New Hampshire, Aurora, Illinois, New York, New Jersey, Virginia, Boston, Boise, Atlanta, Phoenix, Tempe, Austin, College Station, San Jose, Portland, Dallas, Detroit, Chicago, Naperville, Philadelphia, Charlotte, Baltimore, Baton Rouge, Alaska, Orlando, Sanford, Jacksonville, San Diego, Loganville, Georgia, Maine, Ottawa, New Orleans, Toronto, Pondicherry, Haribol. So those devotees who has to perform their prescribed duties, they are welcome to leave. And if Krishna so desire, we'll be chanting tomorrow is Saturday again. We'll be chanting